All right, thank you for staying with us. We're still looking at the matter on the ground, talking about Governor Hope Uzodinma's campaign promises to his people while he was campaigning. Recall that he is seeking a second term in office come November when the election will hold. And he has promised about 4,000 youths a job outside the country, in Canada and some European countries, like he said. And he said he was going to foot the bill. The state government was going to foot the bill, and that by December, these 4,000 youths will get their letters. And we're asking what you make of this statement, where he's seen to support those who want to JAPA outside of the country. Join the conversation 081-076-41679 or 090-241-63440 or Twitter us at TVC Connect using the hashtag #YourViewOnTVC. Toby, you wanted to say something before we went to break. Yeah.
Pelumi had called in and had given a bit of perspective to the conversation.
He broke it down.
He broke it down with numbers, with statistics. Yeah. And so there's this report by the cable.ng, and it gives a report by the National Bureau of Statistics stating that Imo State's internally generated revenue, on the other hand, grew from 7.7 billion in 2020 to 12.8 billion in 2021, implying an increase by 66%.
And that's 2 years ago.
That's 2 years ago.
Because of the rate of insecurity that has happened.
Yes.
Where, because remember that lady, Francesca, that called, talking about certain businesses could not recover as a result of the insecurity issue. So let's also keep that on one hand. Yeah.
So that's that. And now he was mentioning that with 5 billion naira, a factory can be set up. And from a state that generates, at least this is the one we've seen, 12.8 billion in 2021, right? And you're taking 5 billion out of that. And from the manpower that generated that funds, you are now sending 4,000 of them to another country. Why don't you invite those companies abroad to invest in your state? And so, again, this conversation of we'll provide jobs are things that we've still heard over time, that the youths are wondering what else can be done aside these jobs.
So he may be planning to use his personal funds for this one.
Because from the government...
You, Veronica, you should know.
You should know. Yeah, see, don't drag me, don't carry me go where I don't know. As it is like this. I'm a staff of TVC, I don't work for Imo State government.
Let's take some messages, can I?
Please, go ahead.
Okay. So, Akani Taiwo says, one thing we should understand is that the people going to Europe know themselves. After some months, those people will be paraded as youth sent abroad, Shekina. Akani Taiwo also says, another angle to it is that do Nigerians want the truth in the first place? Benedicta says, I don't see this happening. But she went ahead to say, this is corporate slavery if it happens. We used to blame our kings and leaders of selling the people for slavery in those days. It is effrontery for me, even in this present day. And he now went ahead to ask Veronica, I say, if he wanted to first speak 4,000, why did he wait till now? By now, he should have been on the third set of another 4,000. Truth is truth said, Adami, honestly, your head gets oil. You are very correct. Second time as a governor, you don't need much talk. Your 4 years' work will speak and campaign for you. Not now trying to use abroad to scam them. Yeah. Governor Hope says, okay, this person says,
Governor
I think, is his name Governor Hope?
No, he's calling
the governor. I think creating 4,000 jobs in Imo should be more important than that of Europe. You will reap what you sow. Take more now. You're there.
Andrew says, Governor Uzodinma, relocation of 4,000 Imo youths to Europe is the typical example of colonial mentality, still affecting Africans. Yeah. Why not develop your state and make the youth stay? And so Yasmin Maman says, these are the things the people want to hear far. People suspend reasoning once they see their so-called leaders. Many there would rather go home with 1K each than anything else.
Ansnam says they already have a good policy of training the youth in digital skills. You just goofed with the European nonsense. Maybe the speech writer messed up. Jobs should be coming to Imo and Forex from Niger.
He wasn't reading a script, was he?
They may have had a plan. I don't want to believe that as a leader, you will come out without having a plan with your team. You are supposed to plan these things. You're supposed to have conversations on the implications of whatever policies or whatever programs or whatever projects you're going to carry out. I watch a lot of American film, and I know that, you know, in these issues, do you have a call?
PR.
Okay.
Yes, we have a call. Let's pick Collins' call, and he's calling from Anambra. Collins, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Yeah.
Sorry.
Please call back, Collins.
Yeah. So I was saying,
Beecee was telling us you watched
a lot of
American movies.
Yes, and I know that for every leader who wants to make a statement, who wants to carry out a new project for the people, they always, you call the PR, they have a team. Aside from, before PR will be the ones to fine-tune how you're going to present it, right, and the packaging. But they have a team of consultants, of diplomats, of strategists, who would sit down and look at your policy holistically. All the angles. Who are we reaching?
And attendance implications.
Yes. And the sometimes, even with all those looking at everything, they may not even see some implications that will fall out at the end of the day. But then they've taken a closer look. They've considered a lot of people, a lot of things. They've considered the nation and their overall goal to the sustenance of the place that they are leading and all of that. I believe that our leaders don't know how to be leaders. When they call for leadership trainings, I went to one recently, a few months ago, got me leadership training. And the things I was learning there, I was wishing our governors were present. I was wishing.
Do you forget?
Hold on,
wait.
No. I was
people travel for events.
Maybe they are paying attention.
It's one thing to go for an event, it's another thing to listen.
I'm happy you mentioned pay attention.
So, knowledge is power, Veronica.
I agree with you. But do you
knowledge applied is power.
There are those people who went for this same training you went for and did not pick anything out of there.
So where are they going?
Well,
why are you a leader?
I think it's just total,
If you cannot learn from, so you are present, so that you collect extra code, okay? You get dollars, it's here in a pocket, it's there. Follow girlfriend, a bar shop, go designer, go designer,
go Versace.
No, you will understand. Oh yeah. We went
Abio, I'm a great girlfriend, no, I'm a share, I'm a more.
We did this, we did that, and then your people are not feeling the implications. They are not feeling
until we begin to make our leaders understand that you have been called to serve.
Absolutely. I think it's just total.
You have been called to serve. We are in a democracy. Who elected these people in the first place? Are we not the ones? Did you make them understand that they have been called to serve? These are my questions. Are you holding them accountable for the promises they made that they are not fulfilling?
I think.
How? How do you engage them? Do they not come to
those
you
are
when they are campaigning? When they are campaigning, did you ask them questions?
I think it's total lack of accountability.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's any legal framework that you can use to hold your leader accountable if they do not fulfill their campaign promises to you. Because if there were, and if we had examples that we had set in the past, I think more leaders or more politicians would have sat up to say, I do not want to go through this kind of embarrassment. So I need to ensure that the promises I make to these people, I must fulfill.
If there's no legal framework, there are other ways.
Unless we drag them on the street. There was one story like that. I've forgotten that country, but then they dragged one of their lawmakers on the road. They beat him or they embarrassed him. They locked his shirt. We do not want to go there. So before we go there, please treat us right.
Right. We have Mohammed on the line. Okay, take Mohammed. Let me take Mohammed on the line. Mohammed, good morning. Go ahead with your contribution. Mohammed?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Beautiful job you guys are doing over there.
Thank you.
But I also think there was no one managed, I think.
Could you speak up, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I said I don't know, the media thing did not handle this well. I think we should also look at the other better side of it. Last week, instead of, I think, over 15,000 youth in Imo, they graduated from a program called Kill Off Imo.
Yeah.
Right? I watched
Yeah.
that program.
We mentioned that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. So we should also look at the other side of it. People get jobs here, right? And earn dollars. So if the governor is saying he's going to get 4,000 people out to go and work, we should also look at the other side of it of earning effects for the country. I hope it guys know, but bigger than tangible. So we should also look at that side of it. I don't think it's not trying to buy government is doing. We should that program. I know the minister of digital economy was there, and he actually praised the governor for doing that program. And it was said in that program that even the federal government can't even do such kind of program. Do you know that the governor shared 15,000 laptops to use of Imo, and with each of those laptops having software worth over 130,000 naira? I think that is commendable. It's not outrightly bad. We should look at the other better part. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, Mohammed, thank you for talking about that. We had mentioned it earlier that the governor had done a skill-up program. You mentioned it, and we talked about
so why do you
it.
now want to export all of that talent outside? Why don't you get them employment opportunities so that they can work remotely?
I think that was where I mentioned that maybe he's in talks with some companies within the country or even outside to come and invest.
You don't even sound convinced. You don't sound convinced.
Okay, do I need to squeeze my lips?
She has a smile at the corner of her lips.
That's the one making me smile. Okay, stop smiling.
Veronica, I agree with you, yes.
So there's a possibility. Thank you. Yes. At least someone is with me on this one. And then he can now look at those who can repatriate funds back to the state. That's what I said now. Yes. They are repatriating funds, dollars, like he mentioned, to the state.
This leadership conversation that you said is just... It's unfortunate because when we speak about leadership, it just seems I get a position and anyhow I do it is what should be, right? And taking leadership courses really is not just about attending. Classes. The ability to implement what you've been taught is the major highlight or the cocoa of the whole thing.
Okay, let's hang on quickly and take Faisal's call. Calling from Lagos Island. Faisal, good morning. Go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Hope Uzodinma's promise, it's funny, you know, see people jubilating for him. Because normally, I believe that a politician, after spending 4 years in office, he shouldn't come out at the campaign, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. What you should tell people that this is what I've done after my 4 years in office. This is what I've done. This is where we stop. And if you give you an opportunity to continue, this is where we're going to continue from. You get it? You can't be a governor of a state and promising your people that you create job for them outside the country. It's a shame. And moreover, you see, when I heard this, I was just like, it's just like a man on top of the mountain, promising heaven and earth, and you are taking such a man serious. You get it? He promised to get the employment letter December. That is a month after the election. I'm an APC supporter. I don't have people know me. I'm a strong APC supporter. But you know, when you see character like this coming up, promising 4,000 jobs outside the country, your country there is insecurity. Your name means Uzodinma, means the road is good. There's no good road in Imo State.
Sorry.
No employment, nothing. I promise you 4,000 jobs. How are you going to do it? No, we really have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. This character we are having as politicians, we don't deserve it.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Faisal. He took it to a different dimension, talking about the governor's name.
Yes.
Hope, bringing hope to the people.
Uzodinma hope now.
So he's bringing, you see?
Hope.
You see? He's bringing them hope in a outside of
way.
The country. That's what it is. And then he said,
something.
Uzodinma, that is, the road is good.
But they said there are no good roads.
There are no good roads, but perhaps we do not have the full clip of that video. We just saw excerpts.
Yes.
So we do not know where he began his speech from.
Exactly.
If he had talked about what he had done before, we do not know. It was just an excerpt that was, put on social media that we are talking about. So maybe when we see the full clip, he might have spoken about that and all. But then it's important that you need to bring hope to the people. as it is from the whole conversation that we are seeing. Somebody wanted to say something earlier before we went on.
It was the leadership conversation.
Yes,
and
yeah.
It's just very important. And if the government can even set up leadership institutes, well,
We have.
I'm even
Let's
taking
not
it
set up
back.
again. We have.
Because if the government even has leadership institutes,
They will not still run it way.
if
They will not lead
if
it
they
well.
have attended those leadership institutes, we won't be seeing what we're seeing.
No. You can still attend. Not be you talk now, say you can attend and not pay attention.
Are they
They
really
attend the ones abroad.
Yeah.
They go to Harvard. They go to big places.
Exactly.
I
Just
said
to,
it
just,
all.
just to end the
We don't need
certificates.
to build new institutes. We don't need it. That's
We have
another.
them.
We have the private ones. If you need private consultants to come and train you,
People who
they
can
are
do
there.
these
They are
things.
available.
So it's
They're
the
life coaches.
doing.
They're therapists.
So
Anything
it's
you
the
need,
individual.
We there.
It's the
Call us. We
individual.
come and train you.
I know. It's the individual.
Shoot your shot.
But
It's the individual and the fact that we as a people, we must begin to see that we have a responsibility that we play when in electing our leaders. We must see ourselves as being responsible. That is one of our major challenge.
Veronica, I like where you're going. But you will not tell
It's leading us nowhere.
You will not tell a woman whose child is hungry, who does not have money to take the child to the hospital, not to collect a cup of rice when these people come. So the thing is, for people like us, we know they cannot bamboo. You cannot promise me going to Obodo Ibo.
Don't say that.
No, I'm just telling me, personally. You cannot promise me going to Obodo Ibo as something you want to do for me right now. You can't promise. I'm not there. Even if I've not traveled. The fact that I know that what I want is here. So give me something that will keep me here and make me flourish.
Absolutely.
That's what I will listen to. But there are lots of people who have lost hope in the country. And all they see is greener on the other side.
Absolutely.
And the people there, some of them there, there's nothing green there. We go there, we
not.
visit, we see the hustle.
Absolutely.
Of course.
They will not tell you, they allow you to come. You come and collect your own share of the hustle.
The
So
shaggy.
they think that nothing is happening. You discuss with a lot of youth. So I had a young guy who was a dry cleaner in my father's compound at the time when I was growing up. And he was doing well. The governor, Delta State governor's wives, they were bringing
Clothes.
laundry, for him. He was making money. All the politicians' wives, he was in my compound there. He paid rent and he took that shop. He was working. All of a sudden, he started a conversation of he had to travel. He wants to travel. He wants to travel. He packed up that business. Gave out the shop, arranged, I don't know how they smuggled him, Igbo hardworking guy, smuggled him into Sierra Leone, all those countries, country.
Illegally.
Illegally. Yes, illegally. He went there, he suffered for years. By the time he came back, he found his way back. He could not get those customers back.
He can't.
This guy was flourishing, was already making plans to buy a land, build his house and everything. He lost those customers. When he gave us the story of how he suffered in those places, he said he would, if he had known, he wouldn't have gone because
But
he
when
was
you
better
tell them
off.
those
He was
times,
better off.
they will not listen.
They won't
I've
believe.
had conversations,
Yes.
but we have Joseph on the line calling from Jos. Joseph, good morning. Go ahead with your contribution. Yeah.
Good morning, responsibility.
Morning.
I love your contribution this morning. And Veronica, just putting our brain with your mathematical brain this morning. And the lady in the native, thank you. You are just hitting it. You are giving us that boost. Thank God that YK and that Nima is not on the show this morning. You have been taught. Although what me had to contribute to this is that the man is just a modern slavery. Because I see no reason why there is opportunity in Nigeria. I just pity you two ones to who feel abroad is more better than Nigeria. There are opportunities that if this man should invest that money, is willing to take them abroad, will achieve here. And this modern slavery is doing. Thank you. That's all I have to contribute this morning.
All right. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. Do the people see it as modern slavery?
They will still want to go and say, me self, make her go slave.
Yeah, let me go and
make
see.
her go see him by myself.
go and see
There's
by
no amount
myself.
of English that we're currently speaking to
I used
some
to
Nigerian
have-
youths that would make them know
Change
that
their
this,
mind.
yes, they
I
will
used
still
to
be
have
stuck
a
in their ways.
policeman, right? He did illegal migration. He saw the issues. He saw how people died in his very present. He had big shops. So outside the country, he was in one of these African countries, but he wanted to move illegally. He saw how people's body parts were dismembered and all of that. They tried crossing a fence, and some persons were electrocuted. He saw all of those.
He decided to go.
He came back and now said he still wants to go back.
Wow.
That it's as if he did not plan appropriately.
Oh.
So he wants to do. He said he wants to
replan
go.
and
He
go
wants
back.
to replan
He wants to use
and
the
go
better
again
routes.
because he wasn't finding the job he was doing funny. Yes, we know there were issues, but what are you doing to improve yourself as an individual?
Capacity.
What capacity are you building to become relevant to yourself,
And your
society? What are you doing to build capacity? Government will not hand everything to you. We already know that. We see some people who are struggling. We are not saying there are no issues. There are issues. Even in these countries, there are issues. Nothing is perfect anywhere. You might see, they might have structure.
Absolutely.
Agree. They have the structure. They have measures in place to address issues. When you talk about insecurity, they know how to address it quickly. Right? But then,
It was not always like that with
it
them.
was not always like that.
They had a process.
They had a
Nigeria is
process to
still
get to
going
where they
through
are.
Our own process.
And it takes a lot to integrate into the society. You don't just go there and you think that they will hand you a job.
Everybody.
It's not like that.
How now?
You must go through the processes.
We've had people say that a rat in Nigeria
Enjoys better.
no, a rat abroad. Let me be the rat abroad. Let me not be
Exactly.
the rat in Nigeria because they are different. You hear people say all sorts.
Yeah, and you know when a lot of people started moving to the UK, and you know a lot of them turned to bloggers or vloggers. They were saying, "Oh, it's not easy here. This is that. Look
People
at what
say
I've
they
People
shut
say-
them up.
people will say,
Because
come
you've
back.
gone.
Let us go.
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
new
because
sets
you've
go."
gone.
They do not want to listen, and it's so sad.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it goes back to the issue of accountability.
Yeah.
What you said, you promised to lead the people, to
You've been
serve
saying
the
this
people.
accountability since. How do we hold them accountable? How do they listen to the agitations of the people?
Wow.
How? They are the ones that make the laws. Oh.
They make the laws, yes.
They've not put that
Who
law
votes
to
them
hold
in?
them. Leave
Do
who
you
votes
know
them
that?
in.
Did you know that some senators, some House of Rep members did not return? Some governors did not return in the last election, thinking they were popular. That is a way of sending a message. That is a way of sending a message. That's what I'm saying. You have the power. If you do not want them back in, you can do that with your votes. Do you understand the power you have as an individual? Yes, there are laws in place. It is, what did we say democracy is about? This is how we hold our leaders to account, right? So I am saying that as a people, we have a responsibility towards government, holding them to account. And the government has a responsibility towards us, to serve us, because you made promises. Deliver on that.
And don't overpromise what you cannot deliver.
Don't go beyond.
We don't expect you to use your blood to deliver.
Perhaps if people will follow through now to see what happens in December. If there are 4,000 persons, the processes that
No,
the
we need
governor
to
will
ask,
put in
before
place.
December, we need to ask the question.
No, there's election on ground now. Let them finish the electoral process.
So we just leave the people with the promise.
Now that
No, now, when December now comes, they can now start asking questions now. You don't
Then
get.
they may go to another location and say the same thing.
There are
Say something
plans in place to put everyone.
I want
that
to
has
believe
called him out
there are
to
plans in place. He will not just come
shame.
and
These people said I can't do
I want
it.
to believe.
You all are saying I can't do it. I will prove you wrong. Mr. Governor, sir,
You should use his
we are
personal
challenging
funds.
you.
No, he should use his personal funds.
From what we've
Imo
seen,
State is not
that the
generating
state
enough,
cannot,
yes,
fund
to
it.
do this with taxpayers' money. It will be...
Maybe it's going to take a loan.
Ladies,
there are ways that you can raise funds.
have to end this
to
show.
fund
Or
projects.
the force.
Right now. Right now. You can support,
From which
with our contribution.
good people of Nigeria.